So you talked about somebody being locked in, and I kind of think of a guy on the offensive line that has been through a lot of adversity. Everybody thought he was too small and couldn't do this and was going to take a starting spot this past season, and it didn't happen. And that was Maurice Smith, a guy at center who they brought in Caden Lyles in the offseason, and Caden Lyles got hurt. But he still felt that adversity. He was like, okay, I am not letting this guy take my spot. I am going to take what's mine and everything's going to be perfectly okay. Not saying that Maurice Smith was a perfect player, especially on the offensive side of the ball, but he did a lot of great work. Now, he got hurt a little bit earlier in the season. We were all kind of nervous about how that was going to play out because we really didn't know. Him and Robert Scott had some injuries and everything they had to deal with and everything like that. But man, I mean, Maurice Smith is a fighter. And you even talk about with Malicious on Micah Pittman's YouTube videos. If y'all haven't, be sure to go check that out because I think that is something pretty funny and something you can kind of relate to with some of these college athletes. But man, back to Maurice Smith, I think it's something that when you look at him on the center side of the ball, everyone thought, oh, I don't know if he's going to make it because I think he was at 273 pounds at one point, and he finally started getting that weight up a little bit more. And next thing you know, I mean, he's played in 30 games as a Florida State Seminole, maybe even a little bit more. I mean, what do you think about Maurice Smith and how his development has kind of gone so far during his career at Florida State?
Like you say, man, it's really self-explanatory. Everybody keep saying, last year specifically,
Yeah,
we might need to get another center, just because of his size. Really, that's what it was. But
yeah,
he keep fighting his way up there to be the starter. So it's like you can't keep down him. At some point you got to just be realistic and just come to your senses and say the man keep fighting he keep fighting for his job. And like some websites even got him ranked as like top 10
yeah.
center in the country, which I do agree. Like I do believe he's probably like a top 10 center in the country. He's a really good serviceable center. And I think they're doing something now to help out with his size because he's been picking up his size where he had like 290 or something like that. So yeah, I think they definitely yeah, man, I think he's gonna be pretty good this coming up season.
Yeah, and I want to kind of address something else as well, because I know I talked about Maurice Smith having a season-ending injury. You look at a guy like Bless Harris, who you brought in as a tackle from Lamar. You thought he was going to be your starting right tackle. They put him there. They really liked what he had to the table. Next thing you know, after that first game against Duquesne, he got hurt. And then in comes Jazz Turntine and some other options, Darius Washington as well at the right tackle spot. But now this year, you're getting Bless Harris back, and you're potentially going to have a Julian Armella that's coming on over at right tackle. We'll see how he does in terms of reserve role going to a starting role. Then you got a guy like Jeremiah Byers, who you don't know if he's going to play right tackle or right guard or left guard. What are your thought processes on that kind of battle that we may have this offseason? It may be one of the most anticipated battles that we have this offseason.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a battle. These guys like whew, man, we might. It's taking everything to give me Central not to say we gonna have a top 5 offensive line in the country, and I think it's very possible.
Yeah, I'm
You know,
I'm a little bit more, optimistic because when we did that player draft, man, it was like we were naming all players and there was still depth on depth on depth. I mean, last year,
it,
even, when Robert Scott got hurt and Bless Harris got hurt and all these guys got hurt, you had like 6 available offensive linemen that were ready to be, contributors at that time. Now you're looking at the roster and you may have 9, 10, 11. I mean,
exactly,
that speaks to what Alex Atkins has done. So I think that's very important with everything.
exactly, and like you say, it's gonna be a battle.
Yeah.
You got what I like the most Central is you got guys that can play all over the offensive line. Like Darius Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Darius Washington, Mike Coach Norvell was speaking about him not too long ago on the interview, saying like, man, what he do for the program, people don't realize it because he don't, quote unquote start, which he do sometimes, but he don't quote unquote start. But he when you need him, he's there. You know what I'm saying? He can play left tackle, right tackle, left guard, right guard, and center, all the positions. So that those type of guys are very needed in the program. You got Jeremiah Byers, Casey Roddick. You got all those type of guys. So yeah, I do believe it's gonna be something to see in the season, man.